Hey everyone.
Hello. I think we can get started in a few seconds. It's 2 minutes past the time for the meeting. If anyone has any topics that they would like to add while we are waiting for the next 30 seconds, please do so on the agenda so that we can plan the meeting time accordingly. Okay, I think we can get started. Welcome everyone to the OVN-Kubernetes project community meeting. Today is the 2nd of February, 2026. Let's follow the CNCF code of conduct and be kind to each other. We will go as per the agenda items of the doc. If you have anything that you would like to bring up at the team meeting, please add them to the agenda, starting with Nadia's item with the CI triage as usual. She is on PTO today, but let's go through the issues that she has added meanwhile. The first one seems to be a flake that has been hitting our PRs pretty commonly. I think I've also seen this happening quite frequently. The assignee of this issue is Tim. Do you have any updates here, Tim?
No, sorry, I forgot about this one. Um, I can try to look into it today and figure out what's going on. I just forgot
That,
about it.
oh, no worries. That would be lovely. And okay, let's give Tim some more time. I think Nadia wanted to check if you would have time or if we need to reassign it, or but I don't think anybody else has volunteered to take it up in.
Yeah, yeah, I have time. I just didn't realize it was still an issue.
Yeah, I think it's we're retesting right now. I'll just write a comment here. Not Tim will take a look this week. Thank you, Tim. The next item is core dumps. I don't know if Patrick added this one or if Nadia added this one, but there was a Slack thread where Patrick brought these core dumps up. So maybe Patrick, I don't know if you want to chime in a little bit and also share with the community on your PR where you're capturing core dumps so that everybody else knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, sure. That's something I've raised on the OVN channel that we've recently picked up some core dumps. So the thing I added is that anytime there is any core dump in our CI, even if the tests are passing, we'll gather them and fail the tests. And recently, we got some crashes in OVN, and these are the first three. And the last one is not really something we control, but I just wanted to have it for tracking purposes. But yeah, I fixed one last week, and thanks Tim for helping with the review and merging it, where we had concurrent map read and write. And what I can say is these are honestly not that difficult to solve. You get the core dump, and because we have Go traceback set, you have the logs that dump all of the Go routines. So it should be fairly simple to figure out why we've crashed. It's just a matter of looking at the logs and worst case, taking a look at the core dump with the appropriate OVN binary. So if anyone is interested in picking any of these three issues, feel free to.
Yeah, I would like to at least assign one of these in the meeting if we can find an assignee. I think we have hit the UDN isolation one and the register OVN controller metrics one twice now. I'm not really sure why we're hitting a lot of these core dumps only now because we turned on the core dump collection long time ago, like maybe 2 months ago.
Right.
So this is
And
on the head, is it? So are we seeing
It's on master.
I see. I think
But
somebody
but
from
I think
NVIDIA
it might
should.
be happening on 1.2 as well. We just don't know because we are only monitoring. Like the PRs submitted towards 1.2 release is not that frequent, but I anticipate
Correct.
the same issues to exist there as well.
See, the question is, NVIDIA started tracking master to get the UDN dynamic UDN stuff. We're going to be very brave and start releasing that head downstream to quite a few people. So it looks like somebody from NVIDIA should look at crash them because urgency is more on our side.
That would be great. Patrick, you have your hand raised. I don't know if you had it raised
yeah,
before or if you want to say something now.
I just raised it. So in the case of the bug I was looking at, it was just laying there dormant. So it might be the case here as well. These are not crashes that happen all the time. It's just rarely happens in CI. But with the cordon capture, we always catch it and always try to raise an issue. So they might be unlikely and might be not something that's easy for you to even see downstream. So it depends, but certainly it's something we should try to fix to avoid any issues.
Is it on the cluster? I'm sorry, I'm driving. I cannot see. Is it cluster manager issue or is it OVN controller? What was the?
I think it's mostly OVN controller, but
Yeah.
the binary is OVN.
Of course. Yeah. Got it.
Do you see these crashes downstream?
No.
So we don't know actually.
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
I think
they're
on.
downstream.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
go ahead,
a good question. Which downstream did you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Red Hat CI, because I know you guys
Yeah,
look
so
for
in
core
Red Hat,
dumps, right?
yeah, in Red Hat CI, we had a bug in our must gather core dump collection, which Anurag is fixing. We still haven't gotten that PR in, so we're a little blind right now. Once that PR lands, we'll know more if we are capturing it downstream as well.
Oh, so you're not detecting the core dumps downstream yet?
Right now, not yet. So
Okay.
even if the core dump happens, the CI doesn't fail as a red CI, so we don't really get to know because there was a hidden bug on the other side. So we're fixing it, and once that lands, we should be able to get more information.
I can volunteer.
And did you just say in the must gather side?
Yeah, we were actually, so after the CI runs in the data gathering collection, must gather already has a provision to gather the core dumps as well if something was captured, I think. I don't know all the details, but there was a bug in the must gather repo using which CI gathers the core dumps that allows us to flag a CI being red. And so we're fixing that.
Do you have a Jira for that?
That
we could see? Because we have a must gather repo now too. So Girish, we could pull in whatever that fixes, and then we could run must gathers on our CI too and use the same method to detect if there's.
Yeah, absolutely. Because today in our downstream CI/CD, we don't even look at crash dumps. So I don't know how many times. Yeah, we should definitely do that.
So we can make a Jira internally and link it towards the Red Hat Jira so we can track it and make sure once it lands there, we pull it in too.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I can share the link on the agenda in a bit. And I heard someone else say they want to volunteer, but I couldn't really get who said that.
It was me, Ihar. I can take a look at one.
Okay,
I can take a look at one. Just one question. So it was said that core dumps are collected. Do we also collect the binaries, or?
Not really, but you should be able to get the commit ID from the CI bundle that's available.
Yeah, so about that actually, I think it would be better if we include the binary because I tried doing that and it didn't match exactly. So when I was looking through it with Delve, I was getting a bunch of problems where I couldn't get to certain parts of the stack.
Did you pull the PR and then run the make command and then use the binary in the go output bin thing?
Yeah. So I don't know.
That's how I've been doing it. Okay.
But
I don't know.
like
It's got different platform.
Yeah, different platform, different Go minor Go version. Maybe also we integrate with the main, do we? So we don't really then control what's
Yeah, that's
exactly in. Yeah. So it would be nice to collect the binaries. We can still try to work with what we
Are
have.
the
But
images
maybe
used in CI available for download? I guess they might not be, right? But if they are, we could pull the binary from the image used in CI.
That's still a pain, right? If we could just store it, just copy the binary.
Yeah. If we are not strained on space, I think with the core dumps, the CI bundles are getting pretty big, above 100 megabytes. I'm not sure if GitHub has any limits around those.
Okay. So should we create a GitHub issue for that to enhance the core dumps to see if we can also store the binary?
Yep.
Yep.
I can take that too.
Thanks, Ihar.
Okay, I will assign this to Ihar. Thank you, Ihar. Oh, no. Oh, I won't be able to get your Gmail, I think, because it's in the Google Doc. I will just give it your name here, and then you can take it from here. And then for one of the issues, so maybe the UDN isolation one, I can assign it to you here straight, Ihar.
Okay.
Chinese, your BOOX something, right? Yeah.
And one thing, just to clarify, don't put too much focus on the test itself. It's just the
Yeah, that's
test that the
bogus.
core dump was collected at. So it can have some impact on the crash, but in the past we've seen that unrelated code paths to the test could cause a crash while the test is running. So it's not necessary for the test to cause the crash.
Sure.
Agreed. And one more thing to add for everybody else, if you are having a core dump cost in the CI run for your PR, please don't just retest failed all the time. Please try to take a look at the core dump, analyze the failure, even if it's not related to your PR, and then tag it to the appropriate issue, because that's how we know which one's happening frequently and we can prioritize it accordingly. So you can use the dev Golang binary to make the analysis. Okay, that's it on this topic, I think. So the action item is that Ihar will open an issue to collect binaries as well as part of the failures in CI, and he's going to take a look at the first core dump, and we can try to see if there are other volunteers for the other ones. And I've linked the PR for the must gather core dump issue. Cool. Next one's Alan. Are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here. I just added 2 items because I was trying to consume images from upstream, and that 2 basically cosmetic things that I saw is we're generating images based on the branch name, and that's how I saw that basically we have master instead of main. And I was wondering if we could also rename the images or the main images to latest, like just to do Docker image pull or whatever image pull and the image name without any particular tag. Not sure if I should open an issue. It's basically I just brought them up here just to see.
I think this is a good thing to do, and we've been wanting to do this for a really long time. I just don't know how much of permission you have to do this versus it would be better if one of the maintainers do it, because I know maintainers definitely have the permission to rename a branch. Maybe opening an issue is a good first step, Alan, and then we can see which maintainer needs to volunteer.
Yeah.
We have 4 of us on the call. I don't know if somebody wants to volunteer to do this.
Yeah, I can take it because I was struggling with this on the weekend. I didn't know how to get the latest image for the head, right? And then just put it in the head chart and install. So I thought you guys at some point went to quay.io, right? From Docker, I couldn't find the login and everything. And then did we now move to GHCR GitHub registry? So I couldn't find actually. I don't know. So I was like, okay, let me find this out. So do we, for every head, for every commit, do we push an image or we
Yes.
don't do it?
So it's always the same image, Girish. It's basically the name of the repo,
And the
GHCR.
latest.
And no, it's not latest. It's master. So the name is basically the name of the branch, because our default branch is master. Is our image name is blah 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 colon master, basically. Let me actually put it here.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, and then does it get pushed to Quay or is it GHCR? Sorry guys, I'm a little bit behind on.
So it's in GitHub container registry. It's not quite.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead,
And
Tim.
Docker has pull limits, so we stopped
Yeah,
using Docker
exactly.
a while ago.
Exactly. I thought you
But
figured
yeah,
out, you know. Yeah.
I'm totally for like the image renaming to latest. I'm a little nervous about changing the branch from master to main just because I'm worried it might cause a bunch of issues. So, you know, whoever decides to take on that task, like let's just make sure it doesn't break everything, like all our build process, maybe other automation that relies on pulling master elsewhere. I don't know if we can just tag main as master, so if someone still relies on master, it just redirects.
Yeah, I
Just
think that's
stuff
the
to-
case, if I'm not mistaken, since that's a really common way of renaming the main
Yeah.
branch.
Yeah.
So I think when you even reference master, it's going to redirect you to main.
Yes, it redirects and warns that it was renamed, but it still works.
Okay. So Garish is volunteering to change the branch name, and then
Yeah,
do we have someone to volunteer to change the image?
I think Girish
Tag?
can do both.
Oh, okay. You good with that, Garish?
Yeah. If I get stuck, Tim, I'll pick you. But my question,
Okay.
my main
It's
thing
not.
was,
I'm not saying you would get stuck. I'm just saying that I'm just worried about the time. Your time.
no. I agree. I might fall back on someone else, but I thought he just wanted naming the image name, right? Why change branch name and everything? So we'll try to figure out from Alan what he just want image to be changed.
Both,
Um,
both, basically.
Yeah.
Girish.
And to be honest, master is not used by anybody else. In
yeah,
CNCF, a
anymore.
lot of
That's true.
projects have
In NVIDIA, we
already
moved away.
migrated away.
Yeah.
In
Okay, cool.
Red Hat, we still have some of the repos, but regardless, in CNCF, the mandate is to use main. So let's just do it in one go. And I agree with Tim, let's be a bit careful to not break anybody. So Alan, maybe you can open the GitHub issue, assign it to Girish. And if you don't see any progress in a few weeks, then we can try to see if Girish needs help.
Yeah, let's do that.
One thing I'd like to note here is that while Git branch rename should be transparent, I think there's some additional semantics attached to latest stack in Docker, like that affects how, for example, Kubernetes pods will kubelet will or will not pull the new version. So the more attention probably should be given to that.
Oh, also for the renaming of the branch, it's not super transparent because in OVN-Kubernetes, we have branch protection rules. And that's how the approvers have rights to merge things into the branch. And I know that's hard-coded to master.
Mhm.
So when it's renamed to main, whoever does this also needs to take care of updating the branch protection rules so that nobody else can push and it's only the committers who can push and all of that. So there's both things need some care, but it's good to call that out. Yeah.
And I think this is done in UI, right?
Yeah,
And
I
that's why I was
think I
saying
know what
that
you're saying.
somebody from maintainer side will need to do it. Yeah.
If the image pull policy is never right, and
Yeah.
if not present, and then if it is latest, I was hoping it would be smart enough to look at the SHA ID and figure out the name is same, but the SHA is different, so I have to go pull. But let's figure that out. The digest is different, but name is same.
Okay, I think we're done on that topic. Good points. Thanks, Alan, for raising this. And thanks for the issue. Moving on, I have a really quick item. I was watching this DPU issue that gets created by the bot, and this is really cool. I wish we could rename this upstream and downstream naming system just so that we are not tying the downstream to upstream in any way. And I know downstream is very, very generic, but maybe we can make it even more generic if that's easy enough to change. I don't know, Nitya, if you can do that, or Tim.
What do you want to change?
Let's not have this upstream and downstream thing. The new upstream commits validated makes this entire issue a very downstream specific NVIDIA issue. It would be better if it just says DPU CI failure or something.
Okay. You want me to just remove the word downstream?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
And maybe the word upstream. Just say new commits validated and that's
Yeah. Yeah, I can remove those things.
Yeah. Thank you.
On that point, but do we realize that it's different code?
No, we are testing the upstream code on a downstream CI/CD rig. So the downstream is the location of the rig, but the code is still upstream.
Okay.
Okay. I think Tim said he'll do it. And then from Red Hatters, I think I'm noticing a lot of the issues. I've also raised this downstream in the meetings, but I'll also raise it in the community. And it's in general, don't mention OpenShift anywhere on the docs or on any of the PR descriptions. Don't attach any Jira Red Hat issues or OpenShift specific bugs. Try to open GitHub issues upstream if you need to have an issue on it, or just redescribe the entire issue from the bug to the actual upstream. Please don't use this terminology. The other thing is the branding. Don't always use OVN-Kubernetes or this one, right? These two things that I've written on the agenda. Please don't use OVN-K, OVN-K, OVN-K- or OVN, because we're not OVN. When we move towards incubation, the branding becomes more important for our project. So whatever's on the logo, please use the same. So when you're reviewing PRs for documentation on our website, it would be good to pay attention to that part.
Can we use like oven-cube for short, or no?
You mean this one? OVN cube? This is fine
Like
because the binary
the
is
dash.
called OVN cube without the dash. Yeah.
Without a dash?
I don't know why
guess-
we decided our binaries doesn't have a dash. It's just OVN cube.
Okay. So I guess, Girish, the same thing kind of goes for us as far as submitting GitHub PRs and issues and like referencing downstream things. Because I see sometimes there are like PRs posted that say like vmass dash whatever, which is our Jira. So that only makes sense to NVIDIA people.
Yeah.
Probably stop doing
The funny thing is, at least between Red Hat and us, the project name is SDN in some cases. I see SDN dash something. I'm like, oh, why is our project upstream? And looks like, and then it's Red Hat SDN project name too. So, cool. Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks, guys. The next is from Tim.
Yeah, so last week I worked on a patch to add BGP support to Kind Helm because the no overlay PR was missing full support for Helm, but then Pong was like, oh, but there's no BGP support. So I went in to start trying to fix that. And then I realized there's a bunch of problems with like the Kind Helm script where it did its own thing. So it's just like we're using a bunch of Kind SH stuff. So I tried to like unify it all. Not all of it, but a lot of it. There's still some stuff to fix. But I was wondering, I was going to work on that this week. So basically getting Kind Helm to be on par with Kind.sh. And then the question is, okay, so once that's done, what do we do? And I was thinking, would it be suitable to just like move Kind.sh to some other file or symlink it to Kind Helm? Or just maybe leave Kind.sh and print like a warning saying this is now deprecated, do not use this, and you should use Kind Helm instead. And then I change all of CI to use Kind Helm. What do you guys think?
I had a quick question on the how would we use kind Helm? Is it really so? What is the major difference between these two scripts? Is it really that the kind Helm brings up a kind cluster with no CNI and then does Helm install the OVN Kubernetes CNI versus
Right.
kind.sh is bringing up the OVN Kubernetes CNI as it does kind? Like it's also doing the same thing. It brings up the kind cluster and then uses bash to do it. I guess the other one is using Helm, right?
Kind.sh is a little worse as far as overhead because we have to run that daemon set sh thing.
Yeah,
and then
daemon.sh, yeah.
template everything, where kind Helm just directly puts the values in. So
So,
it's a little less overhead. I think it's cleaner.
yeah, Tim, I agree with you. Actually, in fact, I used kind element.sh over the weekend to bring up the cluster with route advertisement default enabled to true. Thank you for that. I looked at your comments. So I think upstream we have two ways of deploying things: daemon.sh and helm.sh. And I've seen people sometimes only update daemon set, forget helm, or do helm, forget daemon set. I think having everything helm will also reduce the number of CI lines we run. If you look at the CI lines, we have some says with helm, without helm. So it will also be much faster for us and then completely deprecate daemon.sh research in favor of Helm. Because Helm is a unit, it's a standard now in ways application gets packaged. Nobody writes a YAML file individually and applies. I think we should go with that approach.
Yeah, so for another thing to add is for our users that are not using kind and have real Kubernetes clusters, they can't use kind sh. So they use
Correct.
Helm.
Helm, yes.
So we should just have one standard way we install.
And then also Argo CD or Plux also uses Helm controller to deploy Helm. I think we should just use Helm, make Helm the native way of installing our tools for better experience too. And thanks for cleaning those things up.
I think we can do it this way. So in the 1.3 release, which is going to happen in April, we just put a warning in kind.sh and nothing new gets added there. And then in 1.4, we just remove it totally. Does that work?
Yeah, so in CI, like what do you want me to just change all of the CI to use kind Helm and remove like duplicate CI lanes that have Helm in the word?
Yeah, we
And we'll
can
just
even
leave
rename the
kind.sh
lanes.
like
We
it
don't even
is.
need, yeah, exactly. We don't even need to differentiate in CI Helm versus normal kind. We can just make it all Helm.
Okay, and then if we see somebody, like let's say we do that transition, right, and we deprecate kind.sh, and then someone pushes a PR with a new feature and they try to add support to kind.sh, should we just reject that in the PR saying you should only be adding to kind Helm, kind.sh is deprecated?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we should start doing that now itself because otherwise your target is a moving target because you'll keep fixing Helm kind and then you can never totally fix it because something in CI will keep failing because somebody added something new to kind.sh. So maybe between the maintainers, we need to have an agreement that we will not merge anything moving forward that is doing it only in kind.sh.
Yeah, and that's why, I did a lot last week, and then I was like, oh man, what if I don't follow up on this week, it's going to diverge, and then I'm going to have to do this all over again. Yeah. So I was thinking, as soon as like for example, kind.helm doesn't work with IPv6. So if I fix IPv6 this week, I can change the CI lanes for IPv6 to use kind Helm where they work, and then I can verify, okay, now that works. You see what I mean? So that if someone went and changed something later, right, those CI lanes would fail. So it'd be an obvious something broke. Versus I just try to fix kind Helm and no one's using it in CI really, and then we don't know that like IPv6 breaks later.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Instead of doing the whole thing together.
One thing, can we automate the warning or whatever for modifying kind sh? I'm just looking at how we could do that, and something as simple as GitHub workflow should work. So fail if there's a diff on kind sh.
Yeah, do you want to put that on here and assign it to me? I'll do that.
Thank you.
I'll only do it after I've transitioned like everything to Helm.
I had one additional question. How much logic is still there in that SH script
The
compared
kind one.
to the Helm one? Is it just setting up Helm and applying the manifest, or is it doing something extra?
Now it is, but it had its own functions before that were different for like deploying a kind cluster. There was a different function in there versus how kind.sh did it. So I just moved the kind.sh function into the common library and just use that. There's not that much. It's mostly like there's a bunch of functions we have in kind.sh that do like scaling up the cluster. We have a bunch of extra arguments there. The kind Helm doesn't have. So I need to like identify those extra functions really in kind.sh and try to move them into common and make sure they work with kind Helm. I think that's a lot of the work. And then making sure that like the Helm values charts are getting the right values. Like, like I said, IPv6 is missing. Some of the other features are missing. So I don't think there's a whole lot left in kind Helm.sh that's like unique to the Helm. I think it's more there's unique things in kind.sh that kind Helm isn't compatible with. So it'll be mostly just moving them into the common library.
Right. I was more speaking to your point about Helm being something that the user can use on any cluster, right? So that's really limited to what we need in CI and not have OVN-K product logic in it.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it just does a Helm install. That's all it does.
Mm-hmm.
It sets values. Yeah. It sets values files depending on like if you turn features on or off.
Yeah.
The same values files that like a user would modify when they go to deploy Helm, and then it just does Helm install. That's all it really does.
That's good. Thank you.
And I also noticed when I was testing it, the Helm deployment is faster than the kind.sh deployment. Just something to note.
Yeah, and one more thing that in Helm, we had an issue that I filed where the VAPs are totally missing. So maybe I will assign that to you as well.
Yeah.
I think you'll hit it
Sounds
anyways because you're going to see. I don't know why it got assigned to me, but I think you'll see it anyways because CI will start failing on something.
Sorry, what is missing?
The validation admission policies that we add for annotation-based features.
Oh man, that's called VAF. VAF. Oh, okay.
VAP.
Okay.
VAP. Sorry.
VAP.
Yeah.
Okay, VAP. Okay. No.
Cool. And if you need help, Tim, reach out with any of these. It does sound like a lot of work, but easy to do, but a lot of small pieces. And thanks, Tim.
Yeah, hopefully AI can do it for me.
Cool. Anything else on that topic? If not, let's move on to William's item. There is a technical issue with the laptop. Okay, we'll come back to that item. Joe Talrico, you're on the call, so let's go with you first.
It's just a simple question for the community. I don't know if there's a reason why we apply CPU and memory limits on OVS node. That's the only pod that I see any memory limits set. Sorry, CPU and memory limits. The reason being is any kind of performance workload, I'm hitting OOMs, and this is what made me start looking into just random limit set, and this is the only pod that we deploy. But I am using kind.sh, so maybe there's something different in the Helm manifests that get deployed.
Yeah, I think we should remove those limits.
Yeah, we should remove those. Anyways, in production, people are using OVS directly on the host, not using the daemon, so you can remove them for your testing.
So I looked into that issue a bit, and this is not OVS itself. It's OVN-Kubernetes running OVS exporter for metrics. So it's a bit surprising to me that we are crossing 500 megabytes there. And even if we agree that the limit is too low, it would be interesting to see why a metrics exporter is eating up so much memory.
Oh, so this is the metrics exporter container inside the OVS node pod?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
Well, that needs to be debugged.
It's only during the UDN workloads. So any
I just thought of, so for OVS metrics, I think we had a plan to transition OVS from CLI commands to using OVSDB, libOVSDB. And I think somebody implemented the metrics using libOVSDB, right? So perhaps there's a
Yeah,
bug there, scale issues.
yeah, we did actually downstream. I think Nitya, weren't you the one who looked at it? I'm not sure how much of the metrics upstream has been moved to libOVSDB, but we should. I'm not sure if
Should
Nitya's in
we-
the correct. I'll work with her.
Yeah. Oh, she is here. Should we have a GitHub issue for this one so someone can track this down? Like one for examining why there's so much memory usage for exporting, and then I guess Joe, you can just submit one to remove the CPU memory limits.
Sure.
Yeah,
that make
sorry, I
sense,
was
Patrick?
driving.
Patrick, do you hear me?
I do, yeah. What was
Is
that?
that
Did you
okay
say?
with you to remove
Yeah,
the
yeah.
memory limits, CPU limits on that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just interesting that a simple exporter takes so much memory, so having two issues is cool with me.
Okay. Sorry, Nithya, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so I was driving. Yeah, I'll take a look at that issue.
No, the question was whether I'll talk to you offline.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for taking notes, Girish. Sorry, I was a bit zoned out on that one. So who's going to open the issue?
Yeah, I think Patrick is going to open the issue. Sorry, I was typing my next agenda item, but I could capture what was the. Patrick is going to open the issue, and Nitya is going to verify. Nitya is going to verify to tell us whether upstream uses libOVSDB are still making OVS-based cutoff calls.
Oh, upstream move to libOVSDB.
Okay, so then we need to check why it's taking half a gig for a fairly.
Yeah, we might be
Okay.
like monitoring all and then building our entire
Yeah.
OVSDB cache with everything in OVSDB.
Sorry, the question is about OS node, right? OS node daemon side. But actually in the OS node daemon side part, it doesn't have matrix exporter.
But I thought, Patrick, didn't you say there is also a container that does that?
Yeah, it's called, what was it, Joe?
Something util, OVN.
Yeah, OVN util.
Yeah. There's a Slack thread I'll put into the notes that people can follow along because I'll add it there or into the notes.
Interesting, because I see one of obvious note. I see one of one, which means there should be only one container. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, yeah. Let's follow it on the Slack thread.
All right, Girish, you're next.
Okay, cool. So what's happening is we are running. We have a system with 128 CPUs, right? And we have not tuned it for number of revalidation threads and number of handler threads. So it's kind of out of the box goes. And the revalidation thread math is number of CPUs divided by 4 plus 1, and number of handlers is all the CPUs. So is Red Hat done any tests with regard to running OVS? There were a couple of OVS conferences talk. I forget that gentleman's name, Edmund or somebody. Like he kind of presented a few findings. But the question here is that, is there any perf test within Red Hat where you guys test OVS on a high CPU or a machine with large number of CPUs? And if so, any recommendation as to how to run OVS and things like that? Because with out of the box OVS that we are running, it's OVS 333. We are seeing OVS close to 1 gig. So I did read up on few blogs and everything, trying to figure out how to reduce the OVS memory footprint. 1 gig is way too much for a very simple cluster, like close to 200 or 300 nodes. So we're trying to kind of want to optimize OVS for the large CPU systems.
Yeah. So Girish,
Mm.
we had a customer at Red Hat who wanted to change how many cores that OVS is using. And so there was a feature introduced, which was like dynamic CPU pinning. So
OVS
in
pinning,
Kubernetes,
yeah.
you can set like the reserved CPUs for systemd services, and then you can also like guarantee CPUs for certain workloads. And so that dynamic CPU pinning like looks at information and then decides which cores OVS should be tied to, and it goes and changes the available number of threads or kernel cores. So not sure if that fully solves the problem you're describing, but I think it's somewhere to start to look. And I don't know if anyone else from Red Hat has other comments on it.
I could add
Yeah.
some things from the canonical side, Girish. When I worked at canonical, basically like we were doing kind of the same thing that Tim was describing. It's just we used ISO CPUs. So basically like in
We
Grub.
cannot use ISO. I cannot isolate the CPUs, unfortunately, because it's GFN, right? They're penny pinching on in every ounce of CPU that they can get. We can essentially, the question is, if we have so many revalidated threads and for every data path flow, we were only seeing 2,000 data paths flow. It's not like 100,000, 200,000, okay? The number of data paths flow in the kernel is 2,000. So even for every single data path, I maintain statistic structure per CPU. It should not be more. I'm not. I think we need to profile OVS before, but I was just. But yeah, ISO CPUs we cannot use. But go ahead, Anand. If there's anything else.
So there's another setting in OVS that I remember from when working at Canonical. There was 2 use cases that you can use. It's basically for OVS to read the number of CPU threads that you have, like the behavior that you're describing, and also to pin as many CPU per port, if I remember correctly. So basically, like you could reduce the number of CPUs just by using a setting. And for sure, that number of threads or revalidated threads is too big. So this is what we were also seeing in a high system, like a high CPU or dense system. We had to tune the default settings of OVS, like we had to reduce them quite a few.
Okay.
So I put a link there, Girish. I don't think we have good documentation on dynamic CPU pinning. Probably something we should fix upstream, but I haven't really looked, so I could be wrong.
We do have docs for that. I think it was
Okay, cool.
added last week. It's here. And we do have scale performance and scale tests. Yeah, I asked for this from the telco team. The telco team does have performance and scale tests. Maybe Joe Talrico might know whom to ping on the telco perf and scale to get some numbers.
Can you just link this into the document where Girish's topic is?
Yes, I can do that.
Thanks. So Girish, we can start here and see if this would help.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I'll ping you in also. This is becoming big major memory. Memory is the new gold for us in our zones. Cool. I'm done. Thanks.
Okay. Next item is from William.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Cool. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of kind of a project we've been doing in the other DPU specific community meeting that we have. just so everyone's aware. And do we have enough time to go through a small demo of what I'm myself and my team is working on recently? I think we have
You go
like
for it.
30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do have time, but the challenge is I was trying to find the admin code because I think I need to give you the permission to share your screen if you need to do that. Or can
Oh,
is the demo something that I can access or is it local?
it's local right now. So I can't share my screen. Uh,
That's why I was silent for the past 10 minutes because I knew you would probably need that permission. Can you maybe start talking through it and then I can try to see if I can
oh,
find the
okay.
code?
So
If I try it, sorry, if I try to share, it just says I can't share because you're sharing it. Sorry,
I think
you
it's
stop
because
sharing. Can I share?
yeah, I can try that.
oh, now I can share.
Yeah, now it'll
Oh,
let me.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good too. No.
Okay. Can everyone see my
Yeah, we
screen?
can.
It should be a terminal.
Yeah, we see.
Okay. So mm, just to go over it, the GitHub repository has the code I have on screen in my IDE, but what we've been working on is a way to simulate DPUs without the hardware, just to move faster and to help with the CI, because using hardware for the CI has been a challenge. Although Tim has found a way to work around NVIDIA's kind of wall and kind of have a way to test it. I'm not sure if that's sustainable for the long term, but the purpose of this project is to simulate oven K offload onto a DPU-like device. So I have a very extensive README right now. It's still work in progress. A lot of the DPU features aren't there, but what I wanted to show the community today is um, just a quick demo of what is working right now. So I have two servers. First, I'll go with the virtual machine approach. Um, so the script as it is written in Golang will automatically deploy virtual machines. So I'll scroll all the way to the top. Um, it first makes sure there's dependencies for sure, and then it does some idempotent stuff. So it cleans up after itself, and then it deploys virtual machines. So you see here um, we have master one, host one, DPU one. So using a Fedora Kakao2 image, I found that it's the fastest way to deploy it. I deploy the VMs and it installs all the dependencies. For instance, you have to turn off swap, install cryo, open vSwitch, network manager, OVS, stuff like this, the tools that you need to install a Kubernetes cluster. And then the script would bootstrap BREX with two interfaces. One is the management, one is the Kubernetes interface. So it does that for each of the machines. Finally, here it does the kubeadmin init and kubeadmin joins because it just uses upstream Kubernetes right now. And then it applies all these manifests like the RBAC, the all of these YAML files that come from daemonset.sh that you guys are well familiar with, but looks like we might switch to Helm soon. Um, so at the end, you get something like this. This is the screen, and um, I'm just very familiar with OC, so I'm gonna make an alias. So you'll see that oh, I need to export the right one. So you get the kubeconfig in the kubeconfig directory here, and and then you can see the system where you have a host, DPU, and master. And currently, what I only have working um, is that it just bootstrap of a kube node not in DPU or host mode, but just vanilla oven cube. And it's running on the system. I just started because my laptop had an issue, so I had to restart it. So 4 minutes ago, I ran this, and you can see all the nodes are available here. This is the VM approach. So we have a system to quickly boot up an oven Kubernetes CNI with virtual machines. That's the first part of what the script does. And the second part of what the script does is similarly, it does the same thing, but now with kind clusters. So kind is a little bit easier to bootstrap. It uses the Ubuntu image for the nodes. We pull in the upstream OvenK Fedora master here. And again, using the daemon set.sh script, render all the YAML files and then just apply them. So at the end, you get something like this, where you have your what you're used to, the kind cluster, and you have your pods here. Now, obviously from kind.sh, we tend to use we bootstrap it with OVS Node instead of directly creating or booting up or sorry, what's the correct word? Like bootstrapping OVS, we use OVS Node, so that's here. So that's a quick demo on this side. So similarly, you have your nodes here, and where each of the pods are deployed. So all of this is written in Golang, so it could be a replacement for kind.sh if we want to move away from Bash. Because this DPU sim maybe it's not a good name for it, but right now what I have running has nothing really to do with DPUs right now. I'm just building up the framework to do simulation. So yeah, this
What's
is
the
what I have and
plan?
wanted to share. Yeah.
But what's the plan in the future? Like, you want for every node, you'll create two VMs, one host and another DPU, and you add some weth pair on one end and the weth pair on the other end to simulate VF and VF representers, and then
Exactly.
go from
Yes.
there.
Yeah, go
I
from
see.
there. Yeah. So
Okay,
we'll be
okay.
using VEVs, or if we're able to, this is a stretch goal, it could be possible to write a QEMU driver that will emulate a DPU to its SRV components. So I'm not sure if you're
Mm-hmm.
aware, but there are QEMU drivers for Intel's IA gigabit Ethernet.
IP.
Yeah, and
I
you
see.
can actually create SRV interfaces. So that's a little bit out of scope right now, but if we wanted to make it even more similar to DPU, I think QEMU has the layering to achieve that if we wanted to be more closely looking like a DPU. So
Yeah. See, the thing is, even if you do the weth pair, right? When to figure out in Oven Cube node DPU mode, see, when Oven Cube node DPU mode is running on the DPU itself, it has to plumb the representer, right? It has to add the representer of the BRN. It tries to figure out what representer to use from the VF. For that, it uses the BDF, right? Bus device function, the device ID. How are you going to simulate all those things? That hey, this width has to be plugged for this particular. You see what I'm saying? All those things code without changing the one cube node DPU. We need to figure out how to
We're going to change the
basically what I'm
code to
saying.
have like a simulated mode, Girish. And then the annotation will have something like VE dash whatever. And then that will trigger the OvenCube node on the DPU to know, oh, I need to go look for that VE to plug into OVS.
Okay. So somehow that BDF will get mapped to a weth pair locally by creating a sysfs file system path. Is something like that, or sorry, I didn't. Maybe I'll read the README. I don't know if the README has all this information or.
not too
Not
much
yet.
about DPUs right now. You're asking the
Okay.
right questions, Girish. Um, I'm just bootstrapping layer by layer, and I'm just starting off with building the foundation of, hey, I want VMs to run
Got it.
OvenK. Hey, I want Kind to run OvenK. That's where I am right now. What you're asking are very valid questions. My team, including Balaz and myself, are looking into, okay, what is the next step? How do we actually plumb the Vs in, and how do we make it more look like a DPU? Um, uh, and we're aware that we're using like the VFID and stuff like that to do the mapping and stuff, and of course,
Okay, cool.
that won't work anymore. We have to find a different way. Um, yeah. So uh,
No, it's cool.
it's
But
yeah.
what's really
Thank
cool
you, Girish.
about this is it will let us test the traffic paths with
Yeah,
OBS,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Which is what we're missing now. Like I know with DPF, there's like a path broken for like host to service that doesn't work right when Kube API is on a different link. So just like having that to validate that the traffic flows correctly, even if it's not offloaded, I think is really helpful.
It definitely wouldn't be offloaded, and um, it probably is very easy to trace through the flows when it's all in software. So um, yeah, definitely won't be fast. Yeah.
But this is really cool. I mean, to be able to
Yeah.
simulate DP like this.
But hopefully, like if kind.sh or the shell scripts is getting a little bit too bloated, I think what I've done with the kind stuff we could reuse for just generic deployment without DPUs. Because that's pretty much what I have right now, which I kind of demoed. There's not really any DPU-like things happening. I took like kind.sh, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do the bare minimum to bootstrap what you have in kind.sh, and this is what I have right now. And I could create like a simple pod. Um, uh, and and yeah, it gets deployed unless I have the curse of running a live demo happening. But yeah, so it creates the pod with Oven Kubernetes, and if you describe this pod, um, oh, oops. So you have the annotations that we're all used to here, right? So um, that's pretty much what I have right now, and it's we're planning to obviously work more on this. Just wanted to share with the community, and if the community has any suggestions or feedback, concerns, whatever, please talk to me. And yeah, I greatly appreciate anything, any level of feedback, criticism, or whatever. Um, I will welcome it. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
William,
absolutely.
what's
Thank
your
you so
next
much, William.
your next step?
Next step is I need to sync with Balazs on his work on the Vs pairs and get that in. Uh, Actually get a more DPU-like experience with the simulation. And we're looking into, okay, now maybe we need to modify the oven K code to support it a little bit more. So that's our next step.
Okay.
So I think I have the foundation ready. It obviously it won't have features like IPsec. Like that's not our goal to have all the feature sets of Oven Kubernetes. Let's build the foundation first and then add those on top. So that's our goal.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
once you have like a design that you think will work for the bead stuff, just ping us on Slack or bring it up in the next community meeting and we can review it just to make
Yeah,
sure we're
for
all on the
sure.
same page.
Yeah.
Or maybe a small OCAP or something I think we talked about before, just saying, okay, this is how it will work. Like not something that will take like months to merge or anything, just something that we can all look at. Some
Yeah, for
diagrams.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it last time doing an OCAP. I think we'll definitely write one. Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
And that's it. How do I stop sharing? Okay, here.
Thanks, William. Thanks, everybody. I think we're at the end of the agenda. So we will see again in 2 weeks from now. Thanks, everybody, for joining. See ya.
Bye now.
See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.